WDE.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
This is Wayne Alley. The Wayne County Board of Education was told by Mrs. Kelly Jones last night that her daughter at Southern Wayne High School was given 10 boxes of donuts to sell in order to get a grade of 100 in science class. Mrs. Jones said it shouldn't be this way.
She sold all 10 of hers because everybody else did. I didn't pick up no donuts. One of the other parents took the privilege to bring me 10 boxes for my daughter. And I think that this is an issue and this is something that should be addressed, because our kids should not be taught that this is the way to achieve grades.
Mrs. Kelly Jones. School board member Jim Parker said there's a policy against this sort of thing and it will be dealt with. Superintendent Darren Flowers asked Mrs. Jones for the teacher's name and said he will follow up. A feasibility study by Wayne School Board member Carl Maples disclosed the metal building adjacent to the Royal Avenue office building in the Wayne County School System could be converted to 27 workstations, 13 offices, and several secretarial workstations at an estimated cost of $300,000 plus fees and contingency. The study by Maples is part of a continuing effort to get all the school's administrative staff under a single roof. His estimate was based on a construction cost of $20 to $25 per square foot. The school board instructed Superintendent Darren Flowers and Assistant Superintendent Pete Gurley to look at the proposal by Maples and to report to the school board's Building and Grounds Committee for comments and recommendations, and then to come back before the school board. School board members also requested a meeting between the Buildings and Grounds Committees of the school board and the county commission. Wayne County Board of Education members got an overview of the developing high school apprenticeship program at last night's meeting, and the only concern registered was the question of picking an equal number of students from each high school to be candidates for the program. Board member Jim Parker pointed to the selection of the same number of students from each high school to be a candidate for the program and said while he supports the program, he opposes an equal allotment. He suggested larger high schools should have more candidates. Vocational Education Director Ed Cromartie said the equal number suggested for starting the program is only to create the first pool of students from which industry can draw. Cromartie, in response to a question, agreed that the equal allotment being used this time is not written in stone and is subject to change, and the matter was referred back to committee. The Distinguished Citizen Dinner honoring Jack Cannon last night raised nearly $63,000 for operating expenses of the Tuscarora Council of Boy Scouts. The Weather Center forecast is next. I'm Wayne Alley.
A cold front dropping into North Carolina tomorrow could bring an isolated shower or two along, but the chances at any given spot are quite low. The forecast then for this afternoon, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm. The high today 81 to 86. Then tonight, partly cloudy and mild, lows dropping to about 55 to 60 degrees. And for Wednesday, partly cloudy. There's an outside chance of a brief shower or thunderstorm. Highs tomorrow 78 in the north to 86 in the south. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center. WGBR.
There's a little blurb here in the New York Times today. Here's the headline: to shore up Social Security, cuts and tax rises are urged. Rostenkowski plan given good chance. Now, before I get into the details, how many of you people thought Social Security was solvent for the foreseeable future? There's no problem. It was a self-funding pile of money that didn't need to be added to. How many of you thought that? The Social Security Trust Fund, they said, is whole. Right. They are coming for tax increases, seems like every week now in Washington. Under Rostenkowski's proposal, all Social Security beneficiaries would receive a smaller cost of living adjustment next January. The increase was expected to be 3%, but Rosty's proposal would limit it to 2.5%. If the inflation fearmongers are right, inflation is going to far outdistance the Social Security rate increase, and Social Security recipients will begin to lose ground. As a result, the average monthly Social Security benefit, which is now $674 a month, would rise to $691 in 1995 rather than $694. Mr. Rostenkowski is also proposing a tax increase for Social Security beneficiaries who are single and have incomes of $25,000 to $34,000 a year, or are married with incomes of $32,000 to $44,000 a year. Also, in time, you must be 67 years old before you can tap into Social Security, as opposed to the now 64 and a half or 65, whatever it is. The proposed change here would affect 13% of Social Security beneficiaries, about 5.5 million people. Single people with incomes of more than $34,000 and married couples with incomes over $44,000 are already subject to the requirement to pay taxes, in other words, you people who just found out that you make less than $180,000, but you get Social Security and you paid a tax increase, and they called it a budget cut, now they're going to extend that to Social Security recipients all the way down to $25,000 a year. Rostenkowski would gradually reduce the generosity of the Social Security benefit formula over a 50-year period beginning in the year 2003, which would trim benefits for workers with average and above average earnings, but not for those with low earnings. Now, some of you probably are saying it's about time. There is, with the life expectancy what it is, no reason to start Social Security at 59 or 64, whatever it is. 67's all right. And we can't afford to give this much money away. It's about time we stopped all this. I don't even want to debate that. That's not my point here. I looked at these numbers in this story. Your Social Security debates are like the phone bill's too high. What's new? Every other show does it, and everybody, it's going to be an ongoing debate. You can talk about it every day if you wanted to. The AARP would get seasoned citizens lined up on the phones, and it'd be all you'd hear for weeks if you opened his phones. So we'll talk about that. There are 42 million Americans who receive Social Security in America today. Out of our population of 250 million, 42 million of them receive Social Security. If the figures in this story are accurate regarding the average monthly benefits, we now know that the average monthly benefit of $674 per month per recipient equals $8,088 a year. That's $674 a month times 12. You take $8,088 a year and multiply that times 42 million, number of people who receive that, and the grand total, what we are spending at present on Social Security is $339,696 million. Now, we are going to give these 42 million people a $17 a month increase in benefits. And before I give you the numbers on this, ask yourselves, any of you out there, if your boss came to you and said, you're doing a great job, I'm going to give you a $17 a month raise. What would you do? What would you think? Would you be satisfied? Would you be happy? Would you be thankful? Would you be grateful? Would you think you're doing okay? The answer to all these is no. Well, let's run the numbers out. $674 plus 17, which is the monthly increase starting in January, is $691 a month. $691 a month times 12 months is $8,292 a year. $8,292 a year times 42 million is $348,264 million. What interested me beyond the scope of these numbers, and this is why Social Security is off budget. You put these figures on budget, and you look at what happens to the deficit. Now let's figure out, what is it going to cost per year to give every man and woman on Social Security in this country a $17 a month raise. After we've agreed that $17 a month is nothing, after we've agreed that $17 a month is a pittance, that $17 a month is statistically nothing at all, what more are you going to be able to do with your life with $17 additional a month? Well, we've got 42 million recipients, and we're going to give them $17 a month more. Times 12 gives you a figure. Here's what it adds up to. Listen to this, Lobianco, and listen to this, the rest of you, because what this figure shows, all these figures show, but this one shows, is how hopeless our objective is. After all, Social Security is not just a supplicant now. It's become a way of life for people. It's not something that's just a little add-on to your retirement. For many people, Social Security is what they think the government owes them. And for many, that's it. For far too many, that's it. That's all they've got. To give everybody, in effect, nothing, $17 a month, will cost us an additional $8,568 million. Can you imagine what it would cost? I didn't run this number out. If we wanted to give everybody $100 a month, which would be meaningful, $100 a month increase as opposed to 17, it'd be roughly $40 billion. Roughly $40 billion. We can't afford it, folks. This is why people like me are trying to urge as many of the younger people in this country as they can to become self-sufficient, to rely on yourself. This is why I so decry the takers. This is why I'm so upset when I see more and more people with their hands out thinking the role of government is to put something in it. This is why I cringe when I see more and more people growing up to think that the role of the President of the United States is to take care of them and give them things, to treat them like they are children. We don't have the money. If compassion is going to be defined by how much money we give people and how much income we transfer, then we are going to be defined as the most lacking in compassion society there's ever been. We don't have the money to give people enough so that they can have what we would consider to be a humane, decent lifestyle. To give every recipient $17 a month is going to cost us $8.5 billion. We don't have it. We'll be back.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Okay, you people, just like this radio show, my newsletter, the Limbaugh Letter, which you have to read, you got to get it, is a publication for individuals. For you who are not trying to level the playing field. You who are not trying to make everything fair. No, it's for you who want to excel. You who want to be the best you can, intellectually, spiritually, economically. That's who the Limbaugh Letter is written for. And when you subscribe to the Limbaugh Letter, you get a bulwark of information with which to humble liberals. And for a limited time only, new subscribers get free my 1994 Rush Reference Guide, Across the Fruited Plain. It's a book. It lists all the stations, 636 of them, where you can listen to this radio show. You'll also find many ways to contact me by fax, phone, or CompuServe. All in this one little book free. Call 800-457-4141. You get 1 year, 12 issues of the Limbaugh Letter, only $29.95. Plus, El Freebo for new subscribers only, the 1994 Rush Reference Guide, Across the Fruited Plain. 800-457-4141. Call them now.
What's even better than the thrill of a new car? How about a new car that comes with a free vacation? Courtesy in Goldsboro gives you just that, a free vacation getaway for two with the purchase of any new Honda. Choose from the sporty Del Sol, the stylish Prelude, or the Accord, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. And no matter which one you choose, you can choose the getaway vacation you want to Hilton Head, Myrtle Beach, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or the Great Smokies. Stay for 3 days and 2 nights in deluxe accommodations, compliments of Courtesy in Goldsboro, your no-hassle Buick, GMC truck, and Honda dealer. Every Honda we have is marked right up front with our bottom-line lowest price. No negotiating over price, no hassle, just the best price every time. And now at Courtesy in Goldsboro, a free vacation getaway with the purchase of any new Honda. Hurry, this free vacation offer ends Saturday, April 30th. Courtesy in Goldsboro on Highway 70 bypass, your no-hassle Buick, GMC truck, and Honda dealer.
The
McCall's Barbecue and Seafood in Goldsboro invites you out to feast on their nighttime buffets. Just one taste is all it takes. Monday and Tuesday nights, it's the seafood buffet. Wednesday and Thursday nights, the country buffet. And Friday and Saturday night, everyone's favorite, the seafood buffet. McCall's Barbecue and Seafood specializes in delicious wood-cooked barbecue pork. Serve fresh daily plus much, much more. McCall's has it all. McCall's Barbecue and Seafood, Highway 70 and 111 in Goldsboro.
For your office, club, church, or business, it's State Office Equipment Company. Discount office furniture. You buy for less. Bargains like folding tables, 30 by 96, just $47. 4-drawer full suspension files, just $119.95 letter size, $139.95 for the legal size. Oak or walnut desk, $189.95. Executive chair, only $179.95. Delivery is available. Also used furniture for sale at State Office Equipment Company, 2211A East Ash Street, open Monday through Thursday, 8:30.
There you go. Glad you called her.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
I can't believe this. I got on.
I'm glad you did.
Hey, I heard your monologue, and I just had to call. This is just the most amazing thing I've ever heard of. The more I hear about all these things that go on, the angrier my wife and I get about all these people that complain. My wife and I have 6 kids. We don't have insurance. We're building a house. We have all the amenities. We have 2 cars. One's paid for. We work hard. We put ourselves through school, both of us. There's no reason to complain about all this stuff. All the opportunities are there. It's possible to do it if you want to do it.
It's the whining of America.
It is, and it's driving us crazy.
Now,
The more they whine, the more I work to protect my family, I think. I don't know.
There's another aspect of this, too, though, and you haven't mentioned it, so I will not assign it to you, but I'll tell you what, and it's been bubbling for a long time. All the people that are like you, who put yourselves through school, you're without insurance, you've got 6 kids, you chose to do that, and you're making ends meet. People like you are in some cases being told that you're not paying your fair share.
Exactly.
You're being told that you have no compassion toward people who have less than you do, and a lot is being taken from you and transferred.
Well, the fact that we have 6 kids, we live in the Hillcrest area, and I hate to say it like this, but we walk downtown sometimes. And there's a big homosexual contingent down here, and I've been called a breeder on many occasions.
Well, I mean, that's you should be proud.
I am proud. I'm proud of my kids. I have good kids. They all do well in school, and
don't take it personally. That's what homosexuals call straights.
Well, I know that.
And not because you have 6 kids, it's because you're straight. You're a breeder.
And it's not just from the homosexual contingent either. It's from other people who are concerned about the environment. And
many in the homosexual community hope that a certain percentage of your offspring will be homosexual. It takes breeders to give homosexuals.
If they have their way in school, they might just be right. Rush, it's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir, for calling.
Bye.
Richmond Heights in Cleveland. This is Tony. You're next on the EIB network.
Rush, hi. It's truly an honor to speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm a little bit under the weather, so you'll have to excuse me if I go off into La La Land every now and then.
You sound fine.
I think I'm down with a Clinton virus, a general feeling of malaise and ignorance, whatever. But anyways, the reason I'm calling is I like to relate my personal history, and it kind of dovetails very well with the previous caller. I'm 37, and I'm self-employed, and I have been for 15 years. I got out of the military in 1978, and I married in 1981. And one of the experiences that really impacted me the most is I walked into our local welfare office here in the Cleveland area. I was laid off from work, and I walked in and I saw the moms with their babes in their hand sitting at the row of chairs against the wall. And I looked around and I just said, this can't be. I am not going to allow myself to fall into this trap that's been laid out by the government. So I picked myself up, I walked out. I told my wife my experience. She said, well, Tony, it looks like you're just going to have to work. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And today, I'm a home builder with my brother-in-law and my wife, and we're averaging about 6 homes a year. I've not had insurance since that time. I've had 2
Now,
kids.
when you say insurance, you're talking about health insurance?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I've not had health insurance, and I've always made sure that there is a provision monetarily.
See, it's guys like you that are going to cause the rest of us to have to pay for it for you.
Well, you know, if you
I'm
want...
just kidding now, but that's true. I mean, there are the people who choose not to have it comprise many of the so-called 37 million who are uninsured.
Absolutely. You know, and that little monologue that you had at 1 o'clock was tremendous. This is really one for the archives. And, you know, to go back further, both my wife and I were born in Europe. We migrated here. I was 5 years old. My wife was 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that because there is a story right here, my friend. In my formerly nicotine-stained fingers, I hold this story. And it is about how immigrants are... Now, this headline says, immigrants get the good jobs. The implication of the headline is they're stealing them. Immigrants are unfairly getting the good jobs. No, what it ought to say is immigrants earning good jobs. I'll expand on this, because there are people who were not born in this country who are moving here running circles around people born in this country, making a joke out of them. Back after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Got a program coming up you want to watch on Tuesday night, CNBC. Talk Back America, a 2-hour extra special featuring CNBC's own Talk All-Stars. 10 hosts and hostettes tackling the issues and taking your questions. Don't miss it. It's a great talk fest created by Roger Ailes. Only on CNBC, home of the Talk All-Stars. It's Tuesday, April 19th. 10 hosts and 1 million issues. Talk Back America on CNBC, the first in talk.
Let me tell you about Ginsana, the energizing product. Ginsana is the first standardized ginseng extract scientifically tested for 25 years. If you get tired easily, if you've lost your competitive edge, take Ginsana. All-natural Ginsana. It's energizing America. Ginsana from SunSource Health Products. Products that work naturally. For a free brochure, call 800-777-2000. 800-777-2000.
Ginsana. Ginsana. Ginsana.
Burger King presents Mr. Know-It-All.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, so you claim to know everything.
Yes, I do.
But did you know the new Whopper Junior sandwich at Burger King has 50% more beef than before?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you know that a Whopper Junior value meal with fries and drink is just $1.99 every day?
Knew it.
You honestly would have stated $1.99 as the everyday price for a new Whopper Junior, drink and fries?
Absolutely. This is really too easy.
Okay, genius. Did you know that my wife...
That your wife wears French musk, answers to the name BB, and has a mole on her left cheek? Yes, I did.
You're not supposed to know that.
Yes, I know.
The Whopper Junior Value Meal, just $1.99 every day at Burger King. We may not be the world's #1 fast food place. It just tastes that way.
I knew you were going to say that.
Enough already.
Subject to owner participation. Prices may vary. Size of fries and drink may vary.
Who's on your side when you buy a home? The realtor? The mortgage lender? Don't you need someone in your corner? Global Inspection Corporation can be your best friend. They can use their 21 years building experience to inspect your prospective home and let you know what's good and what's a potential problem. An inspected home can ease worries about financing and insurance problems. Best of all, you know your home will live up to your expectations. To help you through the home buying jungle, call 689-2304 for Global Inspection Corporation.
Military members, pay attention. We're about to save you money. Your friends at J.T. Crawford and Associates Insurance Agency know about the special needs of our military. And as an independent insurance agent, they work hard for you to get the coverage you need at the best rates. And J.T. Crawford and Associates can help you with coverage for your boat, motorcycle, or RV. It pays to make the independent choice. Call J.T. Crawford and Associates Insurance Agency at 734-5605. That's 734-5605.
Unmarried Jane girls. This is part of the Rick James harem, right? Back in those days. Watsonville, California. This is Troy. Hello, welcome to the Rush Limbaugh program.
Huge dittos, Rush, from the left coast.
Thank you. Great
It's a pleasure to speak with you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to comment on the Bosnian situation and the lack of our foreign policy on behalf of our president. It's almost made me ashamed to be an American. I've lost my proudness that was there when Reagan came, and then Bush continued it. And Bush actually surprised me. He showed me that he actually did have some mettle. And I'll tell you, our president this time has no stones at all, as far as I'm concerned. We need to do something. We need to either go in there with the airplanes and support it, or we need to get out
and
give the Bosnians freedom to buy their arms.
Airplanes can't. That's the thing liberals don't get. And I really do think, folks, you can draw a line. Liberals, on balance, there are exceptions to every rule, but I think liberals basically don't understand the military, and they don't like it, and they've always opposed the use of force, except in this case. This is really it may be a result of the Gulf War. It may be a result. Now they're just so eager to get the military in there, and what do they want to do? Air power. Air strikes. How many sorties did we fly against the Iraqis? There were thousands of sorties. And what happened? It still required ground troops en masse on a full-scale march to conquer the territory and to get the bad guys off of it. Wars are still won on the ground. Combat, infantry, that's where you win a war. All the other stuff is valuable, but it's cover. It all goes together in a big mix, but you can't win it all with just one branch or one type of combat. You certainly can't do it without ground combat. It's ground combat that's killing all those people over there. Nobody else flying missions except our guys. And the whole notion of sending an airstrike in here or there to scare these people, my gosh, they've been at war for 600 to 1,000 years with one another. So I think that sending air power alone is not going to intimidate anybody. It's not going to frighten. We've already that's already been demonstrated. And the next step is, all right, what are we going to decide? Are we going to decide that we're going to get out of there and try to do so with as much face saving as possible, or are we going to expand the mission? Are we going to feel the need to prove ourselves and to regain our perception of strength and send other types of troops in there? I just can't see that. I cannot see. As uninterested as the American people are in foreign policy, and as uninterested as people don't care about this. Liberals think they should, but people don't really care about it that much. And if the next decision is to send ground troops in there, you can prepare yourself for a revolt, because this administration has not made the case for it. They haven't made the case for anything that we're doing. And as such, we don't know what we're doing. I don't know if it's time to be embarrassed or time to lose pride. That's not very useful. It's time, however, for somebody to get a handle on this and do the right thing. Whatever the experts can get together and decide that is. There aren't any experts in this administration where this is concerned, though.
A lot of progress has been made in the treatment of epilepsy, but so many people still know so little about it.
Hello, this is the Epilepsy Foundation of America. How may we help you?
Oh, my little girl is having a rough time of it at school. The other kids tease her about her seizures, and the teacher doesn't seem to know what to do. How can I help my child?
Children can be cruel about things they don't understand, but I think we can help. We have materials for kids and teachers.
Call the Epilepsy Foundation with your questions at 1-800-332-1000.
Isn't it true that epilepsy is something you're born with? My wife says no.
She's right. Epilepsy is a brain disorder that can begin at any time. The cause may be traced to a substance, an injury, or it may simply be unknown. In fact, each year, over 100,000 Americans develop epilepsy.
At the Epilepsy Foundation of America, we receive 30,000 calls a year, and we can help in many ways. Just call 1-800-332-1000. Let's not leave anybody out of life.
WGBR, Goldsboro's very own.
From ABC News, I'm Gary Nunn. Gender unity in the U.S. Senate. All 7 women say they will vote against giving Admiral Frank Kelso, Chief of Naval Operations, full pension because of his links with the tailhook sexual harassment scandal. California Democrat Barbara Boxer said before debate started.
This is the moment for the Senate to stand up and give a very strong signal to the women in the military and beyond that we're changing as a society and we're not going to, if you will, reward this kind of behavior.
At the Pentagon, spokesman Dennis Box says Defense Department officials have indicated their backing of Kelso.
Secretary Perry and General Shalley, as you know, testified before the Senate Armed Services Committee, gave their full support to Admiral Kelso's retirement at 4 stars. And I would hope that those words would carry their own weight.
This would be the first time the 7 women senators united to vote together on an issue of sexual harassment. The Supreme Court decides that keeping people off juries because of their sex is just as unlawful as excluding them based on race. The case, which involved a defendant in a paternity suit, an all-woman jury decided it. Some feminist groups sided with the defendant, saying he was a victim of unconstitutional sex discrimination. Barry Nace of the Association of Trial Lawyers of America says the decision by the court does not surprise him.
We have reached a time in this country where it really doesn't matter whether you're with a feminist group or you're with a minority group or what group you're with. We have come to realize that discrimination based on the sex, race, or religion is simply wrong.
Nace says this means the American people will have the opportunity, regardless of sex, to sit on a jury. Senate Democratic leader George Mitchell, devoting most of his attention now to health care reform, urges more attention to the need for preventive care.
Private health insurance for every American that's guaranteed and can't be taken away.
Senator Mitchell spoke at a Washington meeting of the Independent Insurance Agents of America. You're listening to ABC News.
Dinosaurs haven't disappeared. They're still in businesses everywhere. Dinosaurs like the Repairosaurus.
Cop, you busted again? Get me some tools. Rock.
An unproductive copier can turn anyone into a dinosaur. A Mita DC8585 makes 85 copies a minute after minute, day after day, year after year. Plus, it has a 3-year guarantee. The times demand Mita. Call 1-800-858-MITA.
I want this car. I need this car. I want to smell that new car smell and know it's my new car smell. I was born for bucket seats. I was born to recline. I can't wait to put down the windows with the air conditioner on, run my wipers on intermittent. I'm going to drive by my ex-girlfriend's house and pretend I don't see her. I want this car.
GMAC knows. When you want the car, you want the car. And you can arrange GMAC financing or leasing fast, right at your Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck dealership. GMAC, the expressway home.
There's still no let-up in the fighting in and around Gorazda in what used to be Yugoslavia. Russian President Boris Yeltsin has told Bosnian Serbs today to stop attacking the town and proposed holding a summit with the United States and the European Union on ways to solve the crisis in Bosnia. ABC's David Ensor explains.
The Russian president issued a statement in which he bluntly told the Bosnian Serbs to stop attacking Gorazda, to stop blockading the city, to pull back from it, and to allow for UN forces to enter the city. He also ordered them to stop interfering with the activities of UN personnel throughout Bosnia.
President Clinton says that Russian President Yeltsin's call for a summit on the Bosnian crisis deserves serious consideration. Nissan is hiking prices on some of its 1994 models. Sticker prices for Sentra, Altima, and trucks will jump $120. Destination handling charges on all models will be raised $10 to $390. U.S. industry generated more toxic chemicals in 1992 than it did in 91. The Environmental Protection Agency says fewer of the pollutants were released into the environment. The EPA says that industry is improving, though, its management of toxic chemical waste. Wall Street right now, the Dow Jones Industrial is down 24.09 at 3596.33. The volume, 215,630,000 shares. Trading is heavy. This is ABC News.
Here at La Quinta Inns, you'll find bright new exteriors, beautiful lobbies, swimming pools, and big, comfortable rooms. It's perfect for business travelers.
Actually, Monday will be our 6-month anniversary, so we're newlyweds.
Oh, did I say business travelers? See, what I meant to say was honeymooners. Yep, over 220 honeymoon hideaways. Always the best value around.
What do you think, honey?
The new La Quinta. You're not staying at a hotel. You're staying with us.
Or staying with them.
Staying with you.
For the ABC Information Network, I'm Gary Nunn.
The famous Greater Greensboro Open has been a crowd pleaser ever since Sam Snead won the first GGO in 1937. And in 1994, the crowds will be bigger and even more pleased. WGBR will bring reports of the GGO once an hour, beginning at 1:30 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Brought to you by Belk of Berkeley Mall, Raper Discount Drugs, USAVE Auto, and Security Mayflower. Join Tony Rigsby from Greensboro with live reports from the GGO beginning at 1:30 Thursday on 1150 WGBR.
We've got an unseasonably warm afternoon underway with temperatures topping out as much as 10 to 15 degrees above normal, but a cold front will bring some cooler air in by late Wednesday. Our forecast then for this afternoon, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm. Highs today 81 to 86, then partly cloudy overnight, lows dropping to 55 to 60 degrees. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy again. We'll have an outside chance of a brief shower or thunderstorm. Highs tomorrow ranging from 78 in northern sections to 86 down south. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
WGBR.
Welcome back, folks. It's the Rush Limbaugh program, heard around the world on the EIB World Service. Shortwave at 15.420 megahertz. The Armed Forces Radio Network, serving over 1 million uniformed personnel, men and women, stationed around the world, and 636 radio stations in the United States and Guam. The most listened to radio show in 30 American cities. Not in its time slot, but anytime. Most listened to radio show in 30 U.S. cities. And we've only just begun.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America Held Hostage. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
Here we go with today's tabulation of the number of days in the raw deal, the Clinton presidency. A veritable hostage crisis. Day 455 for the poor and the middle class. Day 474 for the rich and the dead, with 1,011 days of aimless foreign policy and damaging domestic policies left to go. We are, of course, here just as Nightline was there every night during the Iran hostage crisis. So shall we be here during this. So speaking of Nightline, this reminder, tonight it's 4.5 versus 2.5. Liberals versus conservatives, a special ABC viewpoint originating from Des Moines. The subject is the press overdoing it in its coverage of Whitewater. On the panel, me. Be there but I will be in a secret, undisclosed location via satellite here in New York City. Everybody else will be in Des Moines. There will be Geneva Overholzer, the editor of the Des Moines Register. That's one cha-ching for the liberals. Floyd Abrams, First Amendment specialist, attorney, but thinks the media has been too tough on this. Cha-ching! 2 points for the liberals. Max Frankel, editor, New York Times. Cha-ching! 3 points for the liberals. James Carville, campaign advisor, President Clinton. Cha-ching! 4 liberals. Then there's me. Cha-ching! 1 conservative. Robert Bartley, editor of the Wall Street Journal. Cha-ching! 2 conservatives. The swing is Britt Hume, ABC White House correspondent, could go either way. We'll give him a half-point liberal, half-point conservative. Final tally, cha-ching! 4.5 liberal versus 2.5 conservative. Balance has been achieved in in the program. That's tonight at 11:30 Eastern Time, and it goes for 90 minutes. They have a live audience in there, 700 people. And so it should be interesting to say the least. A couple of news items that we have yet to get to. As you know, the Federal Reserve raised the Fed funds rate again, another quarter point. It's up to 3.75 now. The federal funds rate is the rate that banks charge each other when they lend money to one another to cover themselves. Got to have so much cash reserve on hand, according to U.S. government. This was done, once again, to fight phantom inflation. Inflation is just lurking out there over the horizon. Nobody sees any signs of it yet, except the Fed. Got to slow it down. This was supposed to cause long-term interest rates to go down, but no. The yield on the long bond is at 7.3 something now, almost as high as it was when Bill Clinton took office. Now, here's the interesting point about this. President Clinton said that it was his economic plan which caused interest rates to plummet to their lowest since anybody can remember. And I would like to remind you that I offered the Democratic National Committee $1 million bet. My own money. I offered right before the president was inaugurated $1 million bet. I said, here's my $1 million up against your $1 million. I said that by 1995, interest rates will be higher than they were when Clinton took office. Unemployment will be higher. The deficit will be higher. There were a couple of other things in there. I can't recall what they were. And I said, give me 4 of those 5 by January 95. And if you're so confident that your plan is going to bring all this wonderful prosperity, then take my $1 million. What better way to discredit one of your severe critics than to take the bet and cream me? They wouldn't take the bet. David Wilhelm, who runs the Democratic National Committee, tried to change the stakes. Well, we'd like Russia's microphone for a year if we win. I said, fine, I'll go for that if you let me run the Democratic National Committee for a year, if I win. They didn't go for any of that. So, having made this prediction, having reminded you that I just made the prediction, and reminding you that I put my own money on the line. They wouldn't have had to put their own money on the line. All they could do is have a fundraiser. Fundraiser to fund Bet Fund in Bet versus Limbaugh. You think they couldn't have one heck of a fundraiser for that night? But they didn't do it. Well, interest rates are on their way back up. Now, Bill Clinton said, once again, that it was his economic plan which caused these interest rates to come down. Never mind the fact that Alan Greenspan's been lowering interest rates at the Federal Reserve for 2 years prior to Bill Clinton taking office. All during the Bush administration, in 2 years, interest rates came down 24 times. They were trying to jumpstart the economy. They were trying to get people to refinance their homes and mortgages, trying to get people to go in debt with their credit cards and so forth, just to get some consumer spending going, just some consuming going on out there, as Ernest Holling says. Federal Reserve decided we needed some more consuming going on out there. There wasn't enough consuming going on out there. So they wanted it. Well, it finally clicked in during Bill Clinton's first year. Never one not to take credit for things he has nothing to do with. President Clinton said it's my economic plan that brought these interest rates down. Okay, fine. Has anything changed in Bill Clinton's economic plan? It hasn't, has it? There have been no addendums to it. No changes, no additions. Nothing's been taken out of it saying, why are interest rates going back up? If the plan brought them down and was going to keep them down, then why aren't they still down? If it was the plan. It wasn't the plan, was it? This is why whitewater is important, ladies and gentlemen. Other news from Singapore. A 47-year-old Singapore man has been sentenced to 20 years in jail and 24 strokes of the cane for raping 2 12-year-old girls 6 years ago, one of whom was his stepdaughter. The man was not identified because of the age of the victims. In the case involving his stepdaughter, he raped her in January 88, December 88, January 89. Eventually, he impregnated her. The victim only went to the police last year on November 6th when she was 18. The man was arrested the same day. In the case involving the second girl, the man was working as a medium at the time, visiting here in 87 to 92 to treat her for abdominal pains. Last May, he told the girl's mother that he had to conduct a treatment in private. He then raped the girl, who did not resist because she believed it was part of a treatment. He then attempted to rape her again on October 31st, but was caught by the girl's mother. The girl's parents reported him to the cops on November 5. 24 strokes of the cane and 20 years in jail. Singapore. I think I mentioned this. I had a quite fascinating roundtable discussion at a dinner on Thursday night, and this caning subject came up. Equal number of men and women at the table, total of 16, says 8 and 8. everybody was saying, oh, you know, we think this is excessive. We agree for the reason for harsh punishment, yes, but this is torturous. This is excessive. People were trying to sound civilized and so forth. But then somebody said, well, what would have happened instead of this guy had vandalized cars? What if he had raped a couple of women? You should have seen the women at this table. In addition to caning, it was obscene what they were suggesting be done with the guy in the public square, proving that emotion is a large part of any of this. New York State prosecutors said on Monday that they were cracking down on the lucrative business of ticket scalping by filing lawsuits against two companies selling inflated prices for Barbra Streisand ducats. In an undercover sting operation, New York State Attorney General Oliver Koppel said operatives in his agency bought overpriced Streisand tickets for her performances at Madison Square Garden this summer after spying ads in several New York newspapers. Isn't this strange? How long has scalping been going on here in New York City? Hey, scalp,